Everyone, I thought I would get over my massive fear of going live on this app and do a quick little live while I'm waiting for my lunch in the oven, because I have just created a pretty cool new little freebie. I'm very proud of myself. I got busy on Canva, found some cute little uterus cartoons and went ham, and I've created a cycle tracking chart that's just a PDF that you can download and then print out, because I've been using a printout that I stick up on my fridge and I sort of track my cycle on there, but I just find that it doesn't have enough space in each little segment, and I'm always getting really annoyed trying to write around this wheel in this little triangular fucking wedge, and it's just it's only 30 days as well, and some people have cycles longer than that. It's very normal for your cycle to go up to the 35-day mark. And so I was all right, fuck this, I'm gonna make my own, and then I'm gonna make it a little freebie that you can just get, and then you can print it out and have it on your fridge like me, or the back of your toilet door, and then we can all be charting our cycles together. And I just wanted to I was feeling super inspired. I'm about to start bleeding tomorrow. And so I'm in a bit of a all right, let's sit down and get some shit done. Gentle stuff, of course, with my hot water bottle and my castor oil pack. And I wrote a blog post about what the benefits are of charting your cycle, and not just using your stock standard cycle tracking app, which is also great, and I do that as well. That's really handy, but I found that I just wasn't using it for more detailed entries like symptoms, PMS stuff, maybe mood and feelings, energy levels, appetite fluctuations, libido level, things when I'm feeling really fucking irritable and not very social, and things like that are all really relevant bits of information to pay attention to with your cycle. I didn't bother sticking that in the app. And if I did ever write oh, my cervical mucus is looking pretty fertile today, it's the consistency of egg white, or my period blood is this color and this consistency, you'd put it in, and then you can't actually look in the app and get a real bird's eye view with everything on the one page all at once, of those kind of symptoms and bits of data. So I just found that not super helpful, and I've been loving writing it all down with a real fucking pen on a real bit of paper, and it's right there on my fridge. So I kind of walk past it every day, and I'm quite engaged with it. I'm a lot more invested, and so I'm actually just paying more attention to I'm noticing more my mood fluctuations, my energy levels changing throughout the day or the phase of my cycle, and I'm kind of more invested, I guess, in tracking my cycle, because it's kind of fun. I get to get out colored pens and write it on the thing, and then I can see it all in one spot, and I can actually notice from month to month the patterns where the sort of same kind of undulations in my energy or my mood tend to happen. There's little peaks and troughs of things like appetite, or my desire to socialize or have sex, for instance. And so I've been really enjoying the benefits of having a hard copy cycle charting practice, and I wanted to encourage you to give it a go. And I've made it as easy as possible, because I've made this cute little chart, which I'll show you in a minute. But just another couple of benefits that I want to highlight. Obviously, then you can predict when your period is, and kind of where your fertile window is. So if you're trying to conceive, that's dope. If you're trying to avoid getting knocked up, then it's the best. And then it feels really empowering, and you'll be so stoked with yourself, doing something so honoring of your, femininity. And the more you do it and the longer you do it for, the more tapped in you feel. So you've got more cycle awareness, but also more self-awareness and body awareness, and you're just a little bit more tuned in. Naturally, it just happens with your self, your body, your menstrual cycle, your sort of divine, sacred feminine essence, things like that. So it's a nice bonus. And obviously, you can kind of plan accordingly because you start to see these patterns or correlations between 4 days before I'm about to bleed, I start to get really shitty and really irritable and I need more space and time alone. And if I do actually go out and socialize or have any big kind of work commitments planned that involve me being really on or extroverted, it doesn't feel great and I don't perform at my best and it stretches me and then I feel really drained and can get a bit testy with my partner or my housemates. So you can actually start to pick up on when the best times in your cycle are to plan certain things, and then ideally if you can with your work or with your lifestyle, kind of build in a little bit of downtime or solo time or self-care time at the points that you really need it the most. And for me that's right before my bleed and the first couple of days of bleeding. I try to go quite gently. There's also really valuable info that you can get about your physical health, and there's great books about this. There's a lot of good resources. I've got a blog post about what your period blood colour is telling you about your health, but then even stuff like PMS symptoms, tender breasts, for instance, that might mean that you are low in iodine, or maybe there's a thyroid issue there, or there's, there's all sorts of physical signs and symptoms that you might be able to start to learn to decipher. Or if you can't be fucked with that, which is also totally okay, you've got that information, that data, to go to your health professional or your doc and be yeah, so this is generally what kind of happens around day 14 of my cycle, and then after that I start to just crash and burn and I get really swollen breasts, or I get really irritable, or my period lasts this long and it's this consistency and the blood is this color. And they're going to actually know what to do with that info, and it's going to be really useful for them in helping figure out where your body's at, where your hormones are at, and if you do have health issues or challenges or you're concerned about anything, that data will be invaluable to that professional that you go and get support from. So, and they'll be chuffed, you whip out your cycle tracker and they'll just be oh my God, you've done my job for me. I've got everything I need, So there's that. It's also kind of a beautiful thing if you've got housemates or, children, teenagers, or just a partner, having something that's just right there on the toilet door or on the fridge. It's sending a really beautiful, body positive, feminist, cycle positive, feminine honoring message. And you're setting this example and creating this environment in the house that is quite beautiful, and then will kind of set the tone if you've got children or whatever. And it helps your partner or housemates kind of stay in the loop about where you're at, and then they can know when they might need to give you a wide berth, or when you might need extra TLC or support or just space. And that can be a really nice little tool, and also mean that you don't necessarily have to explicitly ask for more space or ask for certain needs to be met, because it's kind of right there on the fridge. If you can say to your partner, just check in with it every now and then, and it can kind of keep them involved as well. And if you've got kids, especially teenage girls, you can chat with them. You can get them doing little drawings and using colored pens or whatever to make it fun, and you can both be doing that. And what a gorgeous, empowering example you're setting, and an environment you're creating for that daughter to learn about womanhood and her menstrual cycle, and feel it's just such a shame-free, positive thing, rather than the alternative, which can happen if you've got a household where no one ever talks about it, it's very private, it's very much something to keep to yourself, and it's shrouded in shame and disgust. So if you just have a big old cycle chart right on the fridge, that's a pretty shame-free environment. That's pretty shameless. That's just like, this is a normal part of fucking life and having a female body, and, you know, get on board or fuck right off. Yeah, so I just think it's a nice thing to have in a house, even if you're sharing with other people. And what else do I want to say about it? I guess that's kind of it. I actually will show you. I think my lecture's almost ready out of the oven, but I'll show you what I've made. Isn't it pretty? Aren't these hilarious little wombs? And yeah, it's got heaps of room in these boxes to like actually write down stuff. And just to give you an example, I mean, I said it at the start, but you can write everything from like mood, energy levels, libido, when you have sex, when you feel like having sex, if you have a sex dream, you know, if your appetite goes up or down, or any thoughts or feelings that you have, or if you're more irritable, or, you know, like discharge, consistency, color, when you bleed, how much and for how long, and what's the consistency, what's the color, fertile cervical mucus, all sorts. You don't have to put all of that info or all of that detail on there, but it's, you know, it's just to give you some ideas, really. Like, I kind of go in and out of being like really detailed, and then some days I've just got like nothing really to write. But anyway, that's me. If you want to grab a free printable, downloadable PDF, you can just do that in my bio. There's a link, and let me know how you go, and send me a photo, like tag me. I would love to see people using this, because like, one, I made it and I'm pretty proud because I'm not very tech savvy and it took me fucking ages. Like, I had to put in each individual uterus, but also because like, what a cool concept that I am charting my cycle on this particular like chart, and so are other people. Like, that's, I don't know, there's just some solidarity and like real beauty in that, that I really like the feeling of. So let me know how you go. Just go grab it from the link in my bio. You can print it out black and white and it still does the trick. I printed one color because like my partner's working at a school at the moment and I get him to do some printing, but like, who can afford colored ink otherwise? So, you know, that's like it's a special occasion, just for this month. But after that, I'm on the black and white ink. So no shame in that. Love to see your chart on your fridge. I'm gonna go. I don't know how to stop recording. Oh shit, do I just press exit? I guess so. Lots of love.